Alright, we got another anime, obviously. IRUMA KUN? What is it? Marimashita? IRUMA KUN? This is a fucking fun show. I didn't think I would enjoy it. I thought this was going to be a show I watched like one or two episodes and then drop just because it was pretty generic. And it is, don't get me wrong, this is a pretty generic show. But despite that, it's really fun. It's a really fun show. That I feel like it just has like just enough going for it, like just enough unique things going for it that really that really just makes it enjoyable and makes it watchable. Essentially, I think it's just like the supporting characters kind of really really make this show. You have IRUMA, who's the main character. He's like kind of whatever. He's like your standard main character. I guess like the goof is that he's weak and powerless, but even despite that, he has like one or two like stupid supernatural ability. Like he's super lucky, and he's able to dodge anything. And his weakness is he has to, if someone asks him like, "Hey, can you please do this?" He like has to do it, which is dumb. But by himself, he's kind of whatever. He's just that oblivious main character that's just always going through life. Screwing up whatever he's doing, even though everything kind of goes his way, accidentally. But like I said, I think the real stars of the show are the supporting cast. His two best friends that he makes, Alice and Clara. These two are fucking great. You got Alice, who's like the fucking like, he's just bred different. He's the top class demon. He comes in and everybody thinks he's gonna be top dog. And he's like real arrogant too. But like once you get to know him, once you're friends with him, like he's like still arrogant in a way, but like he's arrogant on behalf of the main character. You know what I mean? So it's tolerable. And he's like very much like like the straight man. And then Clara, who's like the complete opposite. She's a goofball. She's a fuck up. She can't do anything right, and she's just always going on doing some crazy stuff, and just the dichotomy of both of them is real good. And I honestly think like all the scenes that are just Alice and Clara are gold. They're really fucking good. Just because they're such polar opposites, and when they don't have someone there to balance them, they just get up to wacky hijinks. That sounds so cringe to say, but hey. The rest of the supporting cast is really good. You have Iruma's family, Sullivan, like the demon devil king. Caligo, the teacher that he turned into his familiar because he's a human. What's her name? The student council president. I think it's like Azazel, right? That's the family name, I think. She's great. It's just like the fact that all these characters like kind of are presented one way, and then like they kind of just have that little twist that just makes them a little bit more interesting. Even though all the characters are like very like two-dimensional, they're very flat. They just have like just that little bit of uniqueness that's just enough to make them interesting. I will say though that like I said, the characters having like just enough is interesting, but the actual plot of the show is very It's very like predictable. It's very cliched. It's tropey. Um, it occasionally is able to kind of like break from it a little bit. Like there's one at the end where there's like a side character that kind of gets their own arc, and the way they kind of hinted and built that character is kind of like flipped on its head, which is kind of funny. But beyond like that, like one or two like little, you know, switcheroo moments is very like basic. Um, so it's just like I said, it's predictable. It's very bland, but it even though it's all that, it's like just enough to stay interesting. It's pretty funny. The writing is pretty funny because, and like pretty much everything in it is like a slight twist to like make it goofy or funny or something. Like they're all demons, and all the demons, um, like the idea is Iruma's a human, and he's in the demon world. Like he got adopted, and he can't let anyone find out he's a human. And so like that's like a big thing at the start where he's like, I don't want anyone to think I'm a human, because then he'll be eaten or something like that. But then you find out that like humans are a myth. Most demons, like they're like, oh, you know, human, blah 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 blah. But you find out that like nobody's seen a human or like knows what the hell a human is. Like you haven't seen them in forever, so like humans are just a big like a big myth. They're like a boogeyman that doesn't really exist, that no demon has seen, and like their existence is like a closely guarded secret from of like the upper echelons of demon society, which is like which is kind of like the example of like the show is, it's basic, but then it just has like that little twist, you know, the little twist in it that makes it like, oh well, you know, it's not, I don't know. Like I said, it's a decent show. It's a fun show, which is the most important thing, because like I would say writing, you know, animation, all that stuff, it's probably like just a very mediocre show that probably doesn't deserve your attention, but I just had a lot of fun. I just laughed a lot watching the show. So I mean, I'd probably give it like a 7. It's honestly not, I know I'm not selling this real good, but it's not like it's one of those shows where it's not like a critical success. It's not like, oh, this is like the quintessential, you know, of the genre. But it's fun. It's dirty. You know, like what's it called? It's like a guilty pleasure. It's not good, but it's just really fun to watch. And there's actually a second season, I think, currently airing. So that's going to be real fun. 7 out of 10, did I say that? That's my rating. I like it. It's pretty good. I'd recommend it. You probably have something better to watch, but I mean, hey, if you just want to turn your brain off and just watch something that's kind of funny, check it out.